Conna is a village in the parish of Knockmorn, just west of Tallow. Conna was noted for his dancers in the early part of the 19th century, and a makeshift platform was set up at Conna Cross for fiddling and dancing on summer evenings. Stalls were set up the length of Conna village, with drinks being served at one end and music and dancing at the other. Conna was a reputable cider district, and there was an orchard between the dispensary and the castle. On the east side, Conna extended as far as the castle, and this end was called Martin Street. The old chapel stood in what was known at the turn of this century as the Chapel Field. It was said as having been a low thatched building in the shape of the letter L, with the entrance on the west. The site had a luxuriant covering of grass, and the parishioners would lie on it during the summer months and wait for the bell to ring. The established church continued to worship in what are now the ruins on the glebe in Knockmorn until the close of the 18th century. This ruined church must have had several phases of construction and change in it, that it is cited in Smith's History of Cork as having been the only remains of an ancient corporation burned down by the White Knight during the Desmond Rebellion in 1588. Conna Castle, located just to the east of Conna village, is a tall tower house situated on a high rock on the south bank of the River Bride. It is about 80 feet in height and is roofless. However, all its walls are intact with the exception of a gable to the west wall. The main part of the building stands 5 stories high. A higher portion of the east side containing a mural chamber and allowing access to the wall walks was built as a watchtower, giving a commanding view of the surrounding district. There are heavily embrazured slit windows on the ground floor. High up on the 4th floor, directly over the entrance door, is a menacing hooded Machicolation to deter unwanted visitors. The building was begun by the Fitzgeralds in 1554, and it was completed over the next 10 years. The Fitzgeralds descended from Maurice Fitzgerald, who landed in Wexford with the Anglo-Normans in 1169. The land surrounding the castle had been given by Lord Barry, a descendant of Philip de Barry, to his daughter, some generations before a dowry when she married the 8th Earl of Desmond. Conna Castle is believed to have been built by Thomas Roe Fitzgerald, son of James, the 11th Earl of Desmond, or by his father for him. Queen Elizabeth's direct intervention in the ownership of Conna Castle resulted in Thomas being declared illegitimate, because James, his father, repudiated his first wife Joan, daughter of Maurice Roche, Lord Fermoy, on grounds of consanguinity. James, in fact, had been married 4 times in all. Conna Castle was partially dismantled in 1599 by the Earl of Essex during the course of his disastrous campaign. Essex passed it on to Captain Flower. However, the Queen overturned this and granted the manor and the castle of Conna to Sir John Fitzgerald of Clyne in 1602. The castle then went through a series of different owners before ending up in the hands of the Earl of Cork. It is believed that Oliver Cromwell passed by the castle and fired cannons at it before moving on. In 1653, the castle suffered a fire in which 3 of the steward's daughters were killed. The castle continued to move from owner to owner until Hilary Lestrange purchased it in 1851. He passed it on to his son, Reverend A.G.K. Lestrange, on whose death in 1915 the castle was willed into the care of the Irish state, the first such property to be so willed. In the early 1920s, during the Black and Tan times, the middle of Conna Bridge was damaged by explosives. But for the intervention of the parish priest, Canon John Murphy, the structure would have been totally demolished. He stood in the centre of the bridge and defiantly told the rebels, "If you blow this bridge up, then you blow me up too." Hearing this, they withdrew, leaving the demolition job incomplete.